Yo, Vigo's Court, it has been a while, hadn't it? It's your judge, Judge Vader, and I am joined by the lovely Counselor Shep.
Hello, hello, everybody. How are we doing today?
Oh man, I'm excited for this matchup. Seriously, it should be a good one. We're gonna have Wrecking Crew and Hookers today. You excited?
Yep, Wrecking Crew and Hookers. I'm very excited for this matchup. These are two teams that have been really showing up and showing out over the course of the season. So I'm excited to see how this game goes.
Yeah, me too. And really, both these teams have been kind of like you said, just showing up and showing out. I'm excited to see how Wrecking Crew can do on the killer side versus Hookers. And I believe we're actually going to see them on Survivor first, though. We're going to see Hookers playing killer first. And I mean, B Orange is a really good killer. I'm expecting to see B Orange on killer.
Yeah, if Hookers has shown anything, they're killing for I'm so sorry. I brain dumped all of that for some reason. Anyway, so if Hookers has shown anything, they've shown that their entire team has been making leaps and bounds over the course of our season. Their Survivor team is super strong, but their killers really are not slacking. So I am excited to see what B Orange brings to the table today.
Yeah, agreed. I can't remember the killer uses that Hookers has used. I know I've been gone for it feels like 2 weeks now. So
I know we've missed you. We've missed you.
Me too. I've missed being here. Honestly, been really busy with work, but I can't remember what killers they've used. I don't know if they fully consumed any of their killers, though. Do you know? Catch me up.
I am not entirely sure if they have. I don't think we've only had a couple teams use up all the uses of any single killer here, so I don't think they've used up all of their uses of any killers just yet.
I think that's smart, honestly. Early on in the season like this, I mean, we're only week 4. You don't want to have too many killers completely off your roster. It makes you more predictable going into the late season if you do consume all your uses early.
Yeah, and we're kind of getting to the point where teams are going to have to start being really picky about what they're starting to use. As we get further and further on into the season, we're starting to see kind of the standings for all of our teams here in terms of who's playing well and who might need a little bit more work and who's going to be a threat in the later half of the season. So I think teams are going to start being a lot more picky about what they start choosing here and a lot more strategic about it.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a lot of close games. I don't expect this to be any different. And really, it should be pretty exciting. I think usually we haven't seen any separation really happen until that third trial. So I expect these first 2 trials to be pretty close, but it'll be interesting to see if one team or the other can go ahead and pull away and really make themselves be in a really good position going into that third trial.
Yeah, I definitely think the first 2 games are for sure going to be our teams kind of testing each other out. I don't think these 2 have played off against each other before just yet. So the trend that we have been seeing is that the first 2 games are kind of like testing the waters with one another, feeling each other out. And then the last 2 games are the heavy hitters in these matches where the teams are very closely matched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm still waiting on getting an invite from our killer here, but hoping it comes here shortly.
While we're waiting for that invite, why don't we talk about what killer we think we're going to see?
Well, if I interrupt just for a moment there. Before we get to that, I want to go to the map. What map are we even on? We haven't even looked at that yet.
Oh yeah, we haven't looked at our map yet. Let's talk about our map today, guys.
All right, yeah. So we're going to be going to Wrecking Crew's home here, which of course is Mother's Dwelling. So it is in the Red Forest. It is a largish map and has a pretty good amount of hooks. Definitely. That main building can be pretty good for our survivors. but the outsides of the map can be kind of dead zones and be kind of killer sided there. But overall, I would say this is a pretty survivor sided map. Shep, what are your opinions?
I'm more inclined to agree with you because of the size of the map, and this is also a map you don't often see in comp, but because of the problems we've been having with the McMillan maps, this is one of our like filler maps or replacement maps. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how our teams kind of handle this challenge of going to a map that is a little unconventional for comp play.
Yeah, definitely, and I couldn't agree more. I think we'll probably see a killer that can give quite a bit of map pressure. I mean, honestly, I've got Nemesis up here right now, and I would say Nemesis is good for creating kind of those dead zones, getting rid of the pallets. Mother's Dwelling doesn't have too many vaults, so could be a pretty good opportunity to bring Nemi here. But if your zombie spawns are awful, and if they just want to, you know, look at a stump forever, then not really a good pick. So
nature, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nemesis is one of those killers where he's not like honestly on a big map. You probably want high mobility to traverse that space quickly and efficiently. But if you can't get high mobility, extra map pressure that does not have to come from you directly is also good. So I think Nemesis is a good pick for this map. Maybe, I mean, like, it's kind of like RNG dependent. Like, are my zombies going to be good today or are they going to suck? So, like, that's a risk you're going to have to be willing to take. But, I mean, even when they're staring into a log, no information is still information. Like, no input from them is still information.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's probably not over there, but I don't know if you've experienced this the way I have. I can be like right next to a zombie that's looking at a stump, like on the other side of the stump, and he's not putting his arms up, so that's not giving Nemesis really any indication of where you're at, and you're just looking at the zombie like, all right, Deborah, you look at that tree. You go. You
awkward
look at
eye contact as you keep running by. Like, all right, bye. See ya. See you later.
Yep. So I don't know. I think that is kind of RNG dependent. But do you think Pinhead's a good pick on this map? Maybe.
You know, Pinhead would be an interesting pick. This is kind of, I feel like Pinhead doesn't really thrive on large maps, even with the ability to teleport with his box. But we have seen Pinhead come out in the past couple weeks and make a surprising like showing as a comp killer. I don't know, again, if Pinhead is a wise choice on this map, but I definitely think it is a choice.
Yeah. Could be interesting there. I think I haven't seen Pinhead pulled on very many maps yet in comp, and so it's kind of like, it's interesting to see, because of course we've seen Pinhead in pubs, but seeing him in comp play, it's interesting to see these teams take on how the killer can be played, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I see some calls for Executioner though. I see you, Raz, saying Executioner to yeet people across the map. Oh man, Executioner could be
too big for Executioner, honestly.
But then again, if you can use those cages, cause survivors to have to run all the way to those opposite corners, I mean, not horrible. Then you're not really having to play the game of where's my nearest hook.
Yeah, not the worst pick. I also think Spirit with her mobility. I know people, including myself, have been a little iffy on Spirit lately because of her nerf. But I do think Spirit, she's still a high mobility killer. And you can at least use her power for that mobility that you might need to traverse this map.
Right. Yeah, and versus certain teams, I wouldn't bring a Spirit. Definitely, we've seen Spirit kind of not do super well in several matches. Just teams have gotten really good at playing against that directional phase sound. I don't know. Versus Wrecking Crew, would I bring Spirit or not? From what I've seen from them, Spirit I think could maybe be a 2K, but in that case, I don't know that I consume a Spirit use here.
Yeah.
That would just be my prediction, but definitely I'm not a killer main, so if there's a killer main out there that's like, oh no, I could totally 4K him with Spirit, I mean, put your money where your mouth is. Show me.
Yeah, I think you definitely need, and I mean, I think this goes for both teams. I definitely think you need a not just a skilled killer player, but you need them to play probably one of their better killers to keep up with these teams, because both of these teams have shown that they are very strong on the survivor side.
Yep, I would agree for sure. These survivors are ready though, so I have gone ahead, switched into the proper role here, and let's go ahead and review. So, well, I'm gonna wait. Actually, I want to see these offerings because we don't want any penalties. You know, yeah. Understandable. You know, it's been a little bit. Like I had it. I've got to get back in the swing of it. You know, Shep. Like just...
Of course.
Get my timing back. Get back in the groove.
Feels like it's been no time at all that you've been gone, though. You're back here, and
not for me.
It's like you haven't been gone. Well, for the rest of us.
All right, that's good. I don't notice a difference. That's good. That's good.
So but we do have all of our offerings set for Bladed Blueprints and a cut coin.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and look at these killer rules. Of course, our killers are looking to get those hooks done. So, of course, they're scoring points through those hook states. And, I mean, those are coming in at pretty good numbers. But, of course, those kills mean more to us here in Vigos rather than just the first hooks. This is a back-loaded point system rather than a front-loaded point system. So, for sure... pay attention. Our killers actually want to make sure that they clinch those kills, because otherwise those survivors score more points and our killers score less points for not getting those kills for sure. All right, guys, but for more on those rules, definitely type !rules in the chat. We are raring to go here.
And while we wait, you know, anticipation building, those loading screens have our back on the casting side, but I'm very excited to see what's going on here as we get ready to load into our match. And it looks like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I do see what you see, and I hear it too. That looks like a hillbilly to me.
We were talking about high mobility, and this killer definitely has a lot of mobility coming through the shack here and through there. You see that corrupt intervention up and doing its job, blocking these generators over here. Not the best corrupt intervention spread, in my opinion, but not the worst I've ever seen. Still kind of checking out our corrupt zone for survivors. Not quite finding anyone just yet, but our killer being very thorough to look in all the little nooks and crannies before zooming off. Oh, but we find some scratch marks, and it looks like we are going to find our first survivor here, entering this loop with them. And chasing off into, I was like, are they going to stay in the loop? Chasing off into this one. Ooh, and a quick down for our killer here on spawn. Very, very good use of the chainsaw there to get that down quickly before our corrupt is fallen.
Yeah, definitely really good pressure to get that early while corrupt is still up, and we found another survivor. Oh my gosh, this is definitely good. But did you notice what I noticed? That doesn't look like there's a ruin.
No, I do not see ruin here, and it is confirmed there is no ruin as BORH has to kick that generator there.
Yeah, I can say though that that looked like Pop Goes the Weasel to me. So we're electing not to bring ruin, but we do see Pop Goes the Weasel.
And it does look like everyone in chat can see our perks right now, so let's we can acknowledge for sure that there is no ruin. As we continue to chase other survivors, it does look like we did see our hook survivor get pulled from that hook. So now BORH has to track down and hopefully catch up to the survivor they are currently in chase with, entering chase around the shack area, which, if you will notice, is still corrupted, but not for very long.
Yeah, apologies, chat. Of course, being gone for a little bit, looks like my computer forgot where those files were located and forgot to bring over the perk blocker. It is there now.
And we are now entering chase with a third survivor here. I believe we've seen 3 of our 4 survivors now, and we have 2 injured, so that's going to be pretty nasty for our survivors. However, knowing that it is a Billy, they don't need to be injured for him to take them down.
Yeah, definitely, and we did see those low pro chains come out, so smart to go ahead and pull out the chainsaw just so that the survivor is not going to pull that pallet down. But we do see him pull the pallet down here. I think just a second faster on getting that chainsaw ready would have resulted in us getting it down there.
Definitely, I think playing pallets against low pro chains is really dangerous, especially for Survivor that is already injured. But we do see Wrecking Crew finish their first generator there, as B Orange continues to chase our Survivor back into the shack area.
Ooh, look at the body block to
And
allow
a
for the
beautiful
window.
body block. Absolutely beautiful body block there to make sure that Survivor can get to the window and get the heck out of that area.
I will say, though, I think I want to see a few resets come in here soon, because otherwise we could see multiple people go down. You're taking chase near gens that are being progressed or still need progress in order to be done. So definitely I'd rather them take chase somewhere else.
Yeah, but we will see our second generator here pop as B Orange gets another down. I think that is our second down of the game. So we're working at a 1-by-1 trade-off here between Killer and Survivor. And I will note it is really dangerous to be playing these pallets while injured, so I do hope these guys are resetting over there, because you can drop that pallet, but he can still hit you through it, and if you're already injured, that's not the safe play here.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think we do want to see a few of those resets come in, but I guess if you're Wrecking Crew as well, there's only 2 hooks and 2 gens done. So if you're matching 1 for 1 with the hook states to gens complete, you may not care as much.
Ooh, and that was a nice interception with the BT there, eating that chainsaw to the face to protect their teammate and keep themselves on their feet, forcing this chase to continue on instead of giving the Killer another down.
Yeah, and I think the survivors of Wrecking Crew are showing that they know the timing before Billy can use his chainsaw, and that's proving really effective because I mean, they're able to throw the pallet and even vault the pallet and still get away before they would get hit by low pro chains. Very smart by these survivors.
We do see our third generator pop, our Killer deciding to leave this chase at the main building, which is a pretty hard area to navigate if you're not careful. And yet another gen pops. That is 4 gens down, and we still have B Orange looking for a survivor after leaving that chase in the main building.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the main building gen already being out at this point, 1 gen left. There's a really good gen spread. I mean, this is not looking great for B Orange here.
Definitely very skilled planning on the part of the survivors to make sure that their gens are spread out. Even against a high mobility killer like this on this map, there are a lot of like really weird obstacles in between most of your objectives here. Oh, and this is an unfortunate Dead Hard does not save our survivor here. It looks like they will go down.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, though. I think that allows for some good opportunity for these gens to get a lot of progress on them. Not this gen, though.
Yeah, definitely didn't buy them quite enough time to get any progress on this gen over here, but we will see those orange sparks from Pop Go the Weasel take that down back to 0 anyway, as the unhook comes in across the map. And we've kind of broken that 1-for-1 trend, but it does look like B Orange does have the opportunity to take that back as we have 2 injured survivors in the area.
Yeah, and that's why I was really hoping. Spawn's been injured like the entire match here. It's been really interesting to see, but getting the unhooks, doing what you need to do, just staying injured the whole time. Do you have resilience, my friend? Because otherwise, I want you healing.
It might be resilience here, maybe it's just confidence on the part of our survivor, but either way, yeah, Spawn has been injured this entire time and has been doing a lot, but he will pay for not healing up and will go down once again in this shack area, which is really dangerous because I'm pretty sure you guys know what's over here.
The basement. Yeah.
The basement.
Interestingly enough, though, I mean, Spawn got hit by the chainsaw, so it wouldn't have mattered even if he was healed up. That would still be a down. So really, I mean, at that point, you didn't really lose anything. You probably gained some time back in this case, and I think you just take the 3 out here if you're Wrecking Crew.
Absolutely. I think taking the 3 out, especially with minimal hooks, is not a bad idea, but it doesn't look like they're going to take that 3 out. They are going to try to rescue Spawn over here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this door was prepped at all. They opened the door across the map, so now we have a tricky situation for our survivors here. It looks like that is Dwight. Or...
Yeah, that's Steve. Steve over here running around. Hopefully Spawn has Unbreakable.
Fingers crossed, and it looks like he might, or somebody was able to come in and get the pickup while Prince Louis here buys some time for him to get up and maybe get out. But now we see him in the predicament of he's got to figure out how to get all the way across the map and get to that door.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't really want to take body blocks either, so you're looking to try to get out, and this is crazy. They might be able to get the 4 out. This building is not bad either for Survivor. Uh-oh.
But I think that was a misplay there. Unfortunately for our killer, he is going to miss that easy down, so we're going to have to play around this pallet. And oof, we do see the stun as our team takes a 3 out, waiting on this last survivor to see if he can get out or not.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, this door was not the open door. His team did not do him any favors trying to open both doors. They only opened one door and said, "I'm out, homie." So he will go down and die here.
He will go down, which is unfortunate. There is no saving grace for Prince Louis. He will go on the hook, which will give our killer not only a fresh hook, but 2 concussions as well.
Oh man, you gave up a lot of points there. At that point, you might as well have left Spawn on the hook because he wouldn't have given up as many points. But, I mean, you're still ahead by 3 points, so maybe you're not that worried about it, but you gave up quite a bit of hook states by having that happen.
Absolutely. I don't know if that trade was worth it, but good on them for going back for their friend and trying to make that work to get the 4 out.
Yeah, for sure. It was exciting.
It's a very, very exciting game. That was very fun to watch. Already an exciting start to our series today. So I cannot wait what Wrecking Crew decides to bring out in response to this Billy that we just saw.
You know, I think it'd be interesting to see. We've seen it a few times where one team brings a killer and the other team goes, "Okay, we'll run the same."
Yeah, responding in kind.
I
would not be surprised if that is what happened. As again, Billy is a good choice for this map. He has the mobility to deal with the size of it. So it'll be interesting to see if that is how Wrecking Crew decides to respond.
Yeah, it is also important to note Wrecking Crew does have back-to-back killer games coming up, so we may see them go ahead and bring a Billy or somebody like that for this round, and if they don't get the result they're looking for, we may see them bring a different killer. I don't think we would see. Well, actually, no, this isn't the worst Blight map. I mean, you could bring Blight here.
I don't know about Blight's collision on this map.
It's trees, mainly.
Not something I have. Yeah.
But hey, guess what? We have a high five nominated.
Oh boy, I have to figure out which way to look.
Not that
way.
Yeah.
This way. This way. Who nominated a high five? You guys are bad at these.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Lies. All right. We ready for this?
Warm these hands up. I'm ready.
You're right. I don't want to high five you with cold hands. That's just nobody
I
wants
don't
a
want to
cold
high five
hand
you with my
high
cold
five.
little
Okay.
lizard lady hands.
All right. My hands are warm.
Okay.
Yes, they're warm.
I think we're ready.
Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I got there first.
Oh, my computer went slow. I'm so sorry.
That's
sorry,
okay.
I'm lagging, guys.
High
JP
five
problems.
from the Midwest to Japan. Let's do it.
Vigos Corp bringing people together in the best way we know how to yell about Comp DBD.
Are we yelling about it? I thought I was shouting. Could shout casting.
Oh, you're right. Well, we're shouting. Everybody else is yelling.
Oh, okay.
We're special every time.
Got you. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure I have that right. Like, you know, I was about to say because you weren't reacting. I was like, oh, just see myself out. All right.
No, the joke hit, and I was like,
That's exactly the reaction I was going for. Guys, dad jokes all day long. I've got them. Let's go. Yeah.
Handle the dad jokes.
You should have known. Like with me, like
I know. You've been gone too long. I forgot, but I remember now.
Yeah, I mean, with me, with Q, with that one guy D, like any one of us, the dad jokes are gonna roll in.
I cry every time.
I'm sorry.
But let's talk about that matchup we just saw. Even with a stellar performance from Wrecking Crew, not a very large point gap here.
Mm-hmm. And really, I think that is due to that. I mean, well, it is due to that. The end of that match there, giving up the fresh hook that turned into 2 progressions is really what did you in there. Otherwise, I mean, that's what that was like 7 extra points. Is that right?
Yeah, so that would have given our killer 7 extra points for getting the well, is it 7 for the fresh hook and then 2 progressions?
Well, because yeah, it was a fresh hook and 2 progressions. Fresh hook 2 points, progression 1, another progression 2. No, it would have been 5 points. So 5 points they got instead of only getting 2 more points for another progression. So it was a 3-point swing. Definitely could have been a little bit more cushioned, but yeah. I think if you had opened that other door, that play wasn't actually bad because Steve was able to run there for a while. But the other 3 survivors not even attempting to open the door closer to Steve was the misplay, in my opinion, for sure.
Absolutely. I definitely think so. If they were going to go back for that save, they should have made sure that they made it a little easier for their teammates to get out while he was keeping them busy.
Yup, for sure. It was a good match though, and honestly, I think with the map being as large as it was, it's tough for any killer to really have a lot of pressure on this map. I said at the beginning, I think this is a pretty survivor-sided map.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a difficult map, no matter what killer you bring. And again, as we said before, these are both very strong survivor squads, so you're going to have to bring your A game against them.
Oh yeah, and that's why it'll be really interesting to see, but I think Hookers has a really good chance to go ahead and snatch the lead back here with this match. Should be interesting to watch. Looks like we do have B Orange playing Survivor here, followed by Kate, Ashley, and Cheese. You know, I really like food names in DBD. Like, I don't know if you're with that. Mm-hmm.
I'm just constantly hungry though, so I don't know if that plays into it, but I definitely love to see food names.
Me too.
Whenever we do comp stuff. And this is a Survivor composition we have seen before. Love the Christmas sweater representation. I am a big fan of that. Style points for sure. But this is a Survivor squad that we've seen consistently for Hookers, so I'm excited to see what kind of gameplay they bring out today.
Yeah, their coordination definitely has been good in their previous matches, so I think we're in for a treat. Like, everybody in chat, we're in for a treat. If you haven't seen this team, if you haven't seen Hookers before, you're about to. It'll be fun. Sit back and enjoy. Get your popcorn ready.
About to see what's up. Yeah, definitely excited to see this game. I'm kind of wondering what who's our killer Spawn. I'm wondering what he responds to with having just gotten out of that Billy game.
Yeah, I expect, like I said, we are going to, well, actually, Sergeant Bishop. I've actually seen Sergeant Bishop outside of Vigos. So I know that they're...
I saw the S.
Can't read? Oh, well. unfortunate. No, I'm just kidding. Sergeant Bishop definitely can play a pretty good Billy. Wouldn't be super surprised to see Billy run back, but at the same time, maybe they do come out with somebody different. I really don't know who I would bring, though. I'm trying to think, and I think you're on the right track with those high mobility killers, but on Mother's Dwelling, it's just so tough on a killer, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate map. And as we talked about before, an unconventional map to see in comp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these survivors are good to go as soon as they want to go ahead and ready up. I'm going to go ahead and let them know here. But definitely, which team are you feeling has the upper hand right now? Obviously, Wrecking Crew has the lead right now, but are you seeing anything at this point that points to one team maybe having the upper hand over the other yet, or do you think you gotta give it another trial before you can really tell?
I think with these teams, we're gonna have to see how. I don't know if we're gonna see any leg up until the very end of this trial. I think these teams are very evenly matched, and even though there is a point deficit, I don't think it's going to stay that way for very long. Oh, excuse me, I'm so.
That's okay. I too like lose my words at times, like just the air escapes without words. Yeah. No,
I'm so stunned by the incredible gameplay that we're seeing here that I just can't. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just so impressed.
These teams are impressive for sure, and definitely I love to see that we are once again in kind of that. This match is still super close. You're not seeing like. I mean, we've seen at times like first trial might be a 26 to something, like there's a 4 out that happens immediately, right? But it's kind of nice to see that even with the 3 out, because of the hook states that they gave up, it's still a really close game.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, as you're playing in these games, you really have to be careful and considerate of things like hook counts and where your points are sitting, because a simple thing like that takes a game that was a 3 out. It's still a very close score.
For sure. Let's go ahead and review, though. Our survivors, of course, are wanting to score points as well. And, I mean, of course, you got to do those gens before friends. That is how you score a lot of your points, but those escapes are super valuable as well. So can't forget to try to share those hook states if you can. Make sure you're keeping your friends alive. Don't farm them off the hook for sure. If you can, you do want to make sure that you escape with 2 or more of those hook states remaining, just because you do get a little bit of a bonus point there as well, though. So really important to, like you said, watch your hook states. Otherwise, the 3 out does end up not being that great in terms of point difference on the final score. And we're ready to get right into this match.
All right, I hope you guys are prepared, because we are loading in right now to our game, and it looks like we are going to see a doctor come out to play. An interesting choice for this map, but with his static shock ability, he can get a lot of information very quickly, even on a large map such as this. And as you can see, he has already found his first survivor with the first use of that static blast.
Yeah, and definitely I think Sergeant Bishop, I've seen them play Doctor before. This is definitely a really good choice for them as well. They do tend to have a lot shorter chases, so we'll see how well hookers can run them, as I know they are a pretty good killer at taking away the loops.
Definitely, and you can see using that shock therapy there to force the survivor to come to a different area already in Madness Stage 3. But transferring to another survivor that was on this gen, pushing them off there, and you can see with the sparks flying that we do have Ruin in play.
Yeah, and for sure, we are seeing kind of a non-committal, oh, and a whiff. with that non-committal, I'm hoping to see, oh, they went on the gen instead of trying to reset. I think the reset actually would have been I don't know, a little bit better use there. You don't want to give up that hook state early on Ashley, I don't think.
Definitely don't want to see anyone going down this early in the game, but it does look like we have 2 survivors over here, one of which is healthy, so there is potential for a good body block to come in and protect that survivor for just a little bit longer to extend this chase out and buy their other teammates more time. We do see crowd intervention is still up across the way. It shouldn't be up for too much longer now, and there goes our first generator.
And if you notice, there's deadlock in play, and I will also say that Ruin just got cleansed.
So a lot going on for our survivor team right now. They are definitely putting in some good work as we watch our killer here chase an injured Cheryl around the shack, taking the window vault to deny it. And coming in as she comes in through the door, making up for a lot of the distance that she might have been able to make for herself. And it looks like we will see our first down here right by shack, which means right by the basement.
Oh, no way!
Oh, no! And somebody comes in with a flashlight save to get Cheese off that shoulder and back running.
I can tell you exactly who that was. That was B Orange TTV coming in with the clutch flashlight save to keep Cheryl out of the basement. And, you know, I just got to go ahead and say the whole, the add-on causing for the red stain on the back of the survivor of the Cheryl here, I think it's called Order, if I'm remembering correctly. It might be Discipline. But it really is pretty powerful for killers because without the ability to see that, you have even less time to react, and that's why we saw Cheryl, even though Doctor went ahead and double vaulted, Cheryl didn't realize and still went that direction because there's no red stain to give you that little extra second of reaction time.
Definitely, and in high tier comp DPD play, you are going to see red stain manipulation is really important in mind gaming survivors. And what better manipulation is there than to make her think it's there at all times?
Yeah, it not only making her think it's there at all times, the other thing of just it's never on you. The survivor never sees you with the red stain. So why moonwalk if you don't have a red stain? Oh, just so good.
Exactly. And we will see, even though this is our first hook, we do have 2 gens done, and we have found 2 more survivors. Our killer going to patrol this area just a little bit as he's got a nice setup with some generators very close to this hook.
Without Ruin, though, can't help but to think that the killer is actually the one at disadvantage here.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous position to be in. We have a 3rd generator popping, and Deadlock is blocking the generator close to the hook, but that doesn't mean that our survivors aren't putting work in on those other generators. However, if you did notice before when we came to check this generator, there were 2 over here. So, I mean, this is kind of a tricky situation. It's going to be hard to tell what they have progress on and what they don't have progress on. It does look like we are going to camp Cheryl here to second state, which is good confirmation. At this point in the game, generally you want those hook states, but as we are kind of lacking and we have a lot of generators getting finished, it's going to be important to secure maybe even just a kill here.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing from Sergeant Bishop. The gens are spread enough that you're not going to keep the gens from getting done. They will get done. And I think you're just waiting here. You're right next to an exit gate, so you know they can't open this gate without coming over here. You're staying over here, blocking the exit gate, and keeping the survivor here.
Yeah, so this is probably a good play for our killer here because unfortunately this is a rather large map. So even with kind of a loose 3-gen, letting that generator that had been deadlocked go, it's not a 3-gen. It's a very big triangle across a very large map. So letting that generator go was probably a bad idea for him. And now he's just going to have to commit to camping that to death hook before going off to find more survivors.
And find more survivors he does for sure. And really, this is all healthy survivors here. But with this gen being as progressed as far as it is, Repressed Alliance!
And a good Repressed Alliance play from Kate Cook there. protecting their most progressed generator and probably going to be able to pull our doctor away so that her teammates can come back in and touch that generator once more once that repressed alliance is down.
I will say, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Sergeant Bishop goes ahead and camps another to death here.
I would not be surprised as well. And that was a very fast chase with no one to save Kate from the hook with a flashlight. So Kate will go on the hook there. And I wouldn't be surprised if her teammates went back to that generator to finish it, seeing as it was so far along progress. And it's kind of weird to see our killer pull so far away from the hook and a generator he knew had a lot of progress on it.
Yeah,
paid off for him, though. He does find another survivor right over here. He does find B Orange working on this generator that has also a lot of progress on it across the map.
Yeah, with both those gens having a lot of progress, that's definitely it doesn't spell good things for survivors or for killers generally. It spells disaster, but also kind of depends. I think we can only name what 3 perks of the 4 right now.
So far, we have only seen 3 perks of the 4, and it does look like I think we can name what our last perk was because it looks like our survivors already took care of it.
Yeah, they did. Ooh, that kind of sucks. There was a NOED in play, chat, but the survivors cleansed all 5 totems. No NOED today.
Very thorough on our survivors' part to take care of all those bones and get rid of that danger factor there. However, we do have a nice setup on doors for our doctor here.
For sure, yeah. Ability to shock basically both doors at this point. Oh, and with them all reset like that, I don't think this is an opportunity where Doctor's gonna be able to keep 2 people from getting out. I think at most you get 1 more kill here, but yeah. I'd say even that's difficult with Doctor and not having any NOED, them all being healthy right now.
And this is going to be a difficult situation. We do see Kate Cook coming in for the body block, which is smart because if you'll remember, Kate is the only one of these survivors who has any hook states on her. So her teammates getting out would be more points than her escaping, and less points for the killer.
Oh my goodness, but look at the 360.
A swing and a miss. Some smooth moves from Kate here to keep herself on her feet. And seeing the survivor with the flashlight, we're going to go ahead and give her a little smack to get her out of the area. And it is smart of our killer here to go ahead and take the probably a 2K here as Hookers has decided to exit the stage.
Yep. Go ahead and exit stage left. Get your 1 point from this and be able to... oh, wait. Actually, is that a tie matchup? Wow. Imagine this. You got 1 more kill as killer for Wrecking Crew, but you still come out of this actually with the same point total for the survivors and like less for the kill, or you know, you come out of this with a tie game. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it just goes to show those hook states are really important. In our first game, we saw our B Orange gain more hook states, but he only had 1 death. However, that was a fresh hook 2 death at the end of the game, where here we saw our killer get 2 deaths, however, no hook states on any other survivors. So those hook state totals are really, really important, you guys. They are very important if our killers want to make points to take any sort of lead here.
This is crazy. I think you were smart to say that we didn't see anybody have a leg up yet, because it's basically 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah, we are halfway through our match today, and there's no clear winner here. Again, these are very, very skilled teams, and they're pretty evenly matched. Hookers has shown every week that they are just improving by leaps and bounds every single week, and Wrecking Crew has shown they're no joke either.
Yeah, For sure. Both these teams really showing, I mean, this is why they're here, right? This is why they're in the league. These players are not pushover players by any means. Like, these teams are made up of really good Dead by Daylight players.
Definitely a lot of skill on the table here. Really strong survivor teams. And I think we're kind of seeing a trend of that we've noticed before. Usually teams lean heavily one way or the other towards their survivors being stronger or their killers being stronger. And we're just seeing two really strong survivor teams against fairly competent killers, which is why we are pretty much at a tie halfway through our matches.
Yeah, definitely has been kind of interesting to see as well. I think Wrecking Crew really had the opportunity to be up. I'm gonna go back to that first trial again, getting that unhook and having a fresh hook go down and have those progressions. We wouldn't be talking about a tie game if that didn't happen.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a point where they are going to have to start being a little more considerate of their hook states if they want to pull a win out of this one. Otherwise, they are just going to give up points unnecessarily where they could have pulled ahead.
Yep, I definitely would agree. So for sure, these teams, I think we're staying in the same lobby, but if so, let me go ahead and make sure that I'm blocking them from starting before we can get confirmation. I'll go ahead and block with Avami Mommy. And actually, we're changing lobbies. I have just gotten confirmation. We are changing lobbies, so I'm not even going to show Avami Mommy yet. We'll do that later.
I wonder if we're going to see Killing and what they're going to play.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't call the Doctor for sure from Sergeant Bishop.
I definitely didn't expect Doctor either.
Doctor, I think
not a poor choice though.
No, definitely not. And I think really good play by our survivors to go ahead and cleanse all the totems, expecting Noed. Noed is a common use on Doctor, so I mean, good to expect.
I think Noed is just in general a very common perk that we have seen a lot. As kind of a clutch perk in comp play, a lot of killers will bring it to secure those like last, turn that endgame collapse into more of extended gameplay rather than just trying to catch up at that point.
Right, and I think that's smart. As we've seen in this league, the survivors are just really, really good. I mean, they're just really good. they're just it's really tough for a killer to protect all 5 gens. I don't think we've seen many 4Ks where all gens didn't get done. Even on the 4Ks, it's like the gens still are getting done.
Yeah, definitely very consistently strong teams throughout the entirety of our season. So it's definitely, I mean, you got to feel for our killers here. It's definitely a lot of effort they have to put out to deal with such capable survivor squads.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I am glad I'm not in their shoes. I'm glad I'm here behind the desk. That's
why I'm a survivor main, my dude. I could not keep up with these crazy comp kids.
I've talked about it before, but my journey kind of into DBD comp actually started out with being I actually tried out as killer.
Really?
I made a team as killer. Yep, I made a team as killer. And then when I started scrimming other teams and I was like, I am getting wrecked, I decided that it would be probably better for me to be a survivor main because I'm good at communicating. And the survivor main I was from that point on.
Very fair. Very, very fair. I have tried playing killer before. I do enjoy playing killer. I just don't think I could do it competitively. I am baby. I also don't play very strong killers. So I think that maybe contributes to it. But it's about having fun at that point, right?
Right.
As long as you are having fun. I think I just enjoy being survivor more. I do like the teamwork aspect. Also, I played pubs by myself last night for the first time in a while, like not being in comms with anyone. And I realized how scary this game can be when you're just kind of by yourself, like not swiffing or anything. Because I definitely was on the JP servers. Yeah, I was definitely like on the JP servers vibing. There was like a ghost face running around, and I was like, I have no idea where he is. I have no idea what's going on. I see people are injured, but I don't know where they are. This is horrible.
For real.
So definitely it was nice. I definitely recommend everyone play some DVD by themselves every once in a while, because it's good to remember what this game is supposed to be like.
Yeah, for sure. It's it is a horror game, and you're supposed to feel like the scariness, right? I feel like a lot of times any of us seasoned players of this game, we end up looking at this more like it's more like a game of tag, right? This is advanced tag. You're just going, oh, I just don't have to get caught. I see the killer. I'm not really intimidated. I'm just running around going, haha, can't catch me. So I think for sure, like you're saying, like playing it, not having comms, and actually kind of being like, oh shoot, I have to not be seen because I can't just say, hey, come take a body block for me.
Yeah. But that also brings up the kind of back to the point we were talking about before. The killers do have it really hard because it's a different game, and you can't practice for this kind of thing in pubs. Like, you know, you could take your Swift squad and go to pubs and be like, yeah, okay, we're going to practice this. And like, you can practice your comms. But when you play killer, it's all you, baby. Like, it is all you. So going into there, you can't guarantee you're going to get a survivor team that is going to give you a challenge. You can't even guarantee you're going to get any sort of squad against you. So it's definitely really, I definitely feel for killers here. I feel like killers have it a lot harder in comp DVD than survivors do, especially when it comes to improving.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking from experience, it was difficult finding scrims, and that made me not feel confident as killer. And so for sure, I made sure I stuck to what I knew, and I was like, I'm a good survivor. I'll stay survivor.
Yeah, I'm definitely more comfortable just vibing with my friends and trying to stress myself out over where 4 people are at any given moment. So I'm just gonna go survive.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, it should be interesting to see. I don't know. This isn't super DVD related, but kind of. Did you see Prop Hunt? Have you seen that yet? I just saw that yesterday.
Oh, I've heard about it. Yeah, I saw some of my friends were talking about it. Actually, some of my teammates were talking about it together when we were in practice yesterday.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. It's like Dead by Daylight, but you can't, like, you're not looping because there's not like any pallets or anything to drop, but it's like it literally is a clone of like Dead by Daylight. The only difference is you change into like a Coke bottle and roll around and try to hide near the other Coke bottles, and the killer has to like find which Coke bottle you are. You can turn into any prop on the map. So somebody turned into a cabbage, hopped into a box of cabbages, and it's like, which one am I? So
who's the cabbage?
Yeah,
that's really interesting. I'd have to check that game out, but it looks like we are starting to get ready, and we haven't talked about it yet. How do you think, after that first really strong survivor game from Hookers, how do you think Wrecking Crew responds here, especially at a tied game?
I think that with the tied game, we may see a stronger killer come out. I think that might be why they've switched to Spawn as well. Spawn is who we've seen kill for Wrecking Crew on a more consistent basis. So I think that they will probably bring a stronger killer, such as like an S tier out here. Really, what S tier do you bring here? Don't really know. I don't know that, I mean, Nurse, of course, can be strong on almost any map, but kind of anybody's guess.
Speaking of map, for anyone who might be joining us a little late, we are on Mother's Dwelling. However, after this week, we will be switching back to our Macmillan maps. I can confirm that we will be going back to those. Yeah, but everybody celebrate. We're getting off these terrible maps. So that'll be interesting for everybody, I'm sure, to go back to maps that are a little more commonly seen in competitive DBD.
Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you enough how often, like, I know for We Overslept, we've been on Fractured Cowshed, and how many groans you hear from, like, even our team, like, oh, Cowshed. It's great for survivors, but for killers, So
I literally cannot wait to get off of Disturbed Ward. I'm so tired of playing on Disturbed Ward. So tired of it.
Let's go ahead and review some of these ban rules real quick, because guys, of course, we can't have everything be allowed within Vigos for your builds. It would be complete chaos. 4 Dwights, 1 locker. No 4 Dwights in that 1 locker for sure. But we do have some banned perks, of course. You can't have Prove Thyself. The gens are already flying off the shelves. Really can't have that. Haunted Ground Undying just broken, so we ain't doing that. And there are other perks, of course, on that list, such as Starstruck. Definitely survivors are limited to 1 character per team, as I was talking about earlier, but the killer uses as well. You can't bring Nurse every single week, just not fair. So for more on those rules, exclamation point rules in the chat. And let's go ahead and just get right into this. Sorry.
Get on into this game. Let's see who Spawn Peak has decided to bring out. And I think we kind of talked about meeting like with like before. And it's not quite a hillbilly, but it is a chainsaw. We do see Bubba coming out to play. An interesting choice on such a large map too. Bubba doesn't quite have the mobility to deal with it, although he does have that insta-down power. So what he lacks in the time to cross the map, or what he takes in time to cross the map, he can take away from his need to have extended chases.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how this goes. I think with good chases from hookers here, we could see a lot of punishment be given kind of to Wrecking Crew for this killer choice.
Absolutely, and we are going to be checking out our corrupted zone, looking for our first survivor, not quite finding anyone yet. It seems they have decided to use those Christmas sweaters to their advantage and stealth it out a little bit. But I have a feeling it's not going to be too long before he finds somebody. But I definitely do think if he doesn't find someone soon, hookers are going to punish this. And we will see those gens flying really, really fast once this corrupt intervention drops.
Yeah, and I thought that I saw a survivor. We do see our first survivor over here, of course, being Cheese. So definitely taking the smart route, going through main building. Looks like a balanced landing play here. Oof. Really good play from these survivors.
Yeah, very dangerous place to use that chainsaw. Lots of things to tantrum on. As you can see here, we are going to get an early tantrum from Cheese using the obstacles on the main building to their advantage. Our killer deciding, nope, not going to play here. We're going to go somewhere else, and checking on their other generators. As you can see, corrupt intervention has come down, so he no longer has the protection provided by those block generators.
Oh man, and we do see there's a good amount of progress there, and I don't know if you noticed, there's no Ruin.
Yep, this is another game where we do not see Ruin on the table. I think our killer is depending on pressure from getting quick downs here. And maybe this is a place we can see that if he can navigate around these obstacles expertly enough, gonna break that pallet at the very least, which is good for him. That is out of the way. And now our survivor is forced to run to another pallet. I didn't realize there were so many pallets on Mother's Forest.
Yeah, there's not as many vaults. There's a lot more pallets. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, with there not being as many vaults, having somebody like Nemesis that can burn through pallets actually creates a fair amount of dead zones. So Bubba is right along with that. You end up making chases take a lot less time because there's nothing to really avoid. Ooh.
And unfortunately, a misplay there. We do see our first gen pop as we get our first down, but I don't think dropping off the balcony there was the smart choice for Ashley here.
Oh, and we do see Deadlock coming into play, and I think that means Deadlock is blocking 2 gens at this point because another gen had popped shortly before that, and we do see 2 Deadlock gens. And it does look like we are seeing double chili add-ons from our Bubba here, so definitely got some good add-on choices here from our killer.
And that is a third generator popping as we continue chase with our freshly unhooked survivor. BT is going to be down by this point. And I think our survivor realizes there's not very many places for them to go, so they're going to run our killer to the corner.
Oh, I'm hearing actually here as well. Oh, nice DS. Ooh.
Nice decisive strike. Hitting those decisive strikes like we need to be, folks.
I'm hearing as well that double chili actually is not an allowed combo in VOs. My apologies. I said good add-on combo, but not good if it's banned. So for sure that will be a penalty, unfortunately.
And an unfortunate loss of points in a game that is already pretty closely tied. But if our teams can play it smart, maybe not too big of an obstacle, we will have to see how the rest of the trial plays out. Unfortunate to see a flashlight save that doesn't quite go off to prevent Ashley from going on that hook for a second time. But if I'm the survivors, I'm not too worried about it, as they've already got 2 gens down, and this is only the second hook stage for our killer.
Yeah, definitely. Our killer is not doing as well, which, I mean, with the Bubba on this map, it's kind of what we were kind of expecting, wasn't it? Like, we weren't expecting to be able to really have that much map pressure unless the survivors were all grouped up. But as we're seeing here, the survivors are not grouping up.
Absolutely. I think, and we're talking about that problem we talked about earlier. Bubba just doesn't have the speed to deal with how large this map is. So you're seeing a lot of time wasted having to go check on objectives, pulling him away from injured survivors, pulling him away from hooks. And without the pressure of Ruin, he just can't deal with, if the survivors don't group up, he can't handle all of the pressure that's going to be put out. It's just too big a map for him. And we do see our final gen pop, but do you see what I see in the corner there, Vader?
I do indeed, and now our survivors know too. There is a Noed in play. And it looks like our survivors, unlike last game, elected to not cleanse all 5 totems this time.
Definitely, they did leave some totems up, which is an interesting strategy by them, knowing that they did that the last game. But this, again, this is a killer with not as high a mobility rate, and those door spawns are cruel.
Yeah, and as you see, there's the 3 out. So for sure, Hookers going with a pretty good lead here now. I mean, that's what, a 14-point lead? Definitely a really good good choice there.
Yeah, definitely a good choice. Just go ahead and take that 3 out, not do anything risky, especially, I mean, with Noed and a killer who can already insta-down you. I think that was just the smart move to make for our survivor squad there, and that gained them the most amount of points.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Wrecking Crew going ahead and taking the 5-point penalty there. But still not unwinnable here. Definitely, you can come back just with a... I mean, you just need to get a 3 out. If you can get a 4 out, even better. But low hook state 3 out, and you still can come out of this with either a tie to push it to sudden death, push it to overtime, or even take the win if you don't take very many hook states.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough game for Wrecking Crew coming into this final match here. But as we've seen before, they do have a pretty solid survivor squad. So if they can avoid any small mistakes like before, they do have a chance here. I mean, it's a tough one. They are going to need a damn near perfect game, I think, to make this up. But the possibility is still there.
Yeah, and I think these survivors can definitely do it. I think it'll be challenging for sure, but like you said, not impossible. Should be really interesting to see.
Definitely, I'm going to be very interested to see how Hookers responds to their lead. I wonder if they play it a little safer and bring a killer they are confident on, but is not an S tier. I think that would be the play here, honestly. But knowing that Wrecking Crew has a very strong survivor side, I don't know. You might not want to risk it.
You know, I think if I'm the killer right now, I think you're bringing somebody that can down quickly not necessarily high mobility to get the chases across, but I think honestly a Bubba is not a bad play, because I think here's how you play it with the lead that you have for hookers. You go ahead and you down somebody early, you get them on a hook, maybe you bring Corrupt and you bring Deadlock. If you can down them early enough in the Corrupt amount of time, you have Deadlock to block another gen. You can sit and wait for somebody to go ahead and progress another state or go all the way to death. You camp them to death, right? And you've now denied the other team of getting 6 points already. So you're already kind of point starving the other team and able to really kind of clench your win, right? For sure a 2K clenches this, but a 1K still makes it difficult.
Yeah, 1K very early on will still make it a very difficult game for Wrecking Crew to catch up in. Bubba would still feel, I don't know, after seeing how Bubba struggled in this game, I think Bubba still feels a little too risky.
To be fair, though, Bubba didn't try to camp to death, like, at all.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair.
I think if you played Bubba differently, if you have a different goal, right? Because here's the other thing. Wrecking Crew playing Bubba, they were looking at a different goal. They were trying to still get map pressure with Bubba. If you're hookers right now, you have the lead. All you're doing is you're in prevent mode. You are in I have the lead and I just need to keep it. So I think in that case, as soon as you down somebody, you camp them to death. You're not looking to necessarily go out and get the other people. And that's the reason I say, like, you know, bring something like a Corrupt, Deadlock,
yeah, I definitely
Ruin and Noed. I don't know.
I think that's a good case for bringing another Bubba out. I think it just really depends on getting that early down first, though. And if you can't do it, because I don't think we saw it down before our Corrupt went down, or I think we saw Corrupt go down almost immediately after we saw our first down in that match. So I think that's just a lot of hoping that you can find your survivors first, because if you don't, that can kind of be what spells your doom there if you can't find and get that down fast enough.
Right, for sure. So you're right, it is difficult, but I think that's true for any of the killers, right? If you don't get that hook early enough, it's going to be hard pressed.
Yeah, it makes it really difficult to kind of think, because this is, again, it is such a large map and it's difficult to traverse. That main building kind of sucks to loop if you're the killer. So it kind of makes it difficult to kind of predict who we're going to see here, because I don't think Hookers wants to waste anything too strong right now with such a good lead. But at the same time, it's not impossible for Wrecking Crew to take this back.
For sure, Wrecking Crew just needs a good performance from their survivors to be able to take it back. But it's I don't know. I'm definitely, if I was able to predict right now, I'm predicting a Hookers victory here. It should be a fun matchup to watch regardless, though. If Wrecking Crew can pull it out, that'll definitely be one of the exciting comebacks of the season.
And that is definitely why I'm cheering for Wrecking Crew here, because a comeback here would be, I mean, it would require a lot of really good gameplay, and I think it would make it really exciting. So I'm going to cheer on Wrecking Crew here. I think they can take this.
All right.
It'll be a hard match, though. It'll be a hard match, though, because Hookers, Bjorange has shown he is very competent. So
yeah, definitely. And we'll see whoever he decides to bring here. But Orange, you're going to bring the Bubba, right? Like, my prediction's right,
right? Run circles around a Bubba.
Oh man! All right, so we'll see. But should be a fun match. It looks like, looking at the predictions as well, from the viewers, it looks like Hookers is crowd favorite right now. Of course, having that lead right now, it's easy to try to pick Hookers right now. I think though Orange knows what he's doing and was able to get only a 1K last time, but with a lot of hook states. I think playing a little bit differently this time, we may see less hook states but more kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. This is going to be a hard game for Wrecking Crew if B Orange can just guarantee those hook states for himself. At least deny 1, if not 2 outs.
Yes, indeed. And, we saw a penalty last time from Wrecking Crew bringing the double chili. So let's go ahead and review the penalty rules, all right? Because, of course, we never want penalties to occur, just like in any sport. But, they have to happen when rules get broken. And they can be restarted, played out, or both. In that case, we played it out. We did not restart it. And for sure, it was a negative 5-point penalty for bringing things that weren't allowed in the build. You can see some of the other things that would result in us having penalties, such as harassing a ref. Don't ever do that. But
don't do that, it's nice.
Yeah, don't harass anybody, but especially not a ref. For sure, guys. For more on these rules, use !rules in the chat.
And let's get rolling. Ooh, these loading screens got us waiting, but we are about to roll into our final match of the day. Hookers versus Wrecking Crew. And who are we seeing today? We are seeing an S tier come out. It looks like we are going to be seeing the Blight make an appearance. He's going to have that mobility to deal with how large of a map this is. And I think this is a good show for the Hookers to try to secure that win.
I would agree.
Knowing that Wrecking Crew is a strong team.
It definitely is a good choice, and you can see that is definitely a closeout kind of pick here, bringing a Blight right now. But should be interesting to see if Survivor can be. Oh, we found one.
Ooh. Oh, and you do see, I believe that's the compound there, giving some aura reading capabilities to our killer, but we will see the stun and the flashlight blind as our Survivor tries to keep the Blight entertained. You do see the corrupt intervention spread is on the other side of the map, so kind of dangerous for our players here to be looping where the exposed gens are.
Yeah, and oh, did you hear what I heard? Claudette touching bones. She broke some dull bones. I think we know what to expect from here.
Definitely going to probably see this team take out as many bones as they can for worry of that dreaded NOED if it is brought out later. But unfortunately, a swing and a miss, not quite finding your mark around these wood logs, giving our Survivor the chance to make it to Shack to take chase over here, which I think Blight has a couple of problems in the Shack area, if I'm not wrong.
You know, with that vault, it's tough for a Blight at times, but especially just hop in a locker whenever he rushes at you, right? So
absolutely,
definitely tough.
We will see 2 gens pop almost immediately right before our corrupt intervention goes down. So a lot of gen progress being put down while our Survivors are keeping our killer entertained. And we do find our Yui once again, the one with the flashlight, with the reveal from the Compound 21, giving our killer a good idea of where to go. Unfortunately, a swing and a miss, a decent attempt at a prediction through that pallet. Unfortunately, our Survivor didn't go for it. Ooh, and just barely, again, just another swing and a miss there for our killer.
Yeah, and then not getting the lunge there, unfortunately, either. So going ahead and looks like possibly abandoning chase.
Yeah, potentially looking like that might be a chase that Blight doesn't want to continue as another gen pops. He's going to need to start getting some downs here. And we are picking up chase with another healthy Survivor, trying to spread out these injured states and potentially keep them away from those generators.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting to see teams bring out Blight and see other teams just do super well against Blight. This is kind of dangerous. We haven't seen a hook state yet, and 3-4 gens popping now. So really kind of worried. I think out of like 3 times we've seen Blight, we've seen 2 of those Blights end up with no hook 4 outs. So I hope this is not another one that we're seeing now.
Which is strange to consider once you think about the fact that Blight is considered an S tier, and while his speed and just the high mobility really works in his favor, it's not doing much for him here. Unfortunately, missing the collision on that tree, bouncing, even shoulder checking the Steve a little bit. Oh, but we do see our first down, even with the exit gates open. And I don't know if you see what I see on the side there, but I think he might have had a little help if Steve hadn't been injured.
If Steve hadn't been injured, for sure. And, you know, interestingly enough, I think Wrecking Crew, even with the escapes here, has to maybe get the 4 out. So with that totem still being up, Blight just needs to go ahead and confirm this kill. I'm looking at the points right now.
And because this was an M2 attack, these survivors might not know that NOED is on the table.
Oh, that's true.
Because your blighted rushes are considered M2s.
Well, they know now.
They will know now, yes. Even though that was a borrowed time save there, so our survivor did not go down, they will have gotten that notification that NOED is on the table, so they are going to need to find that totem.
Or they're electing to take the escape. I disagree with that, I think, at this point, because you gave up extra points again. This is the second time we've seen them do that. Going ahead and giving up points that they didn't need to give up. That results in more points being added to Hooker's total there. And you know what? That ended up being the game. Do you see the final score?
I do see the final score.
48-50.
2-point deficit. If they had not given up that first hook stage on that survivor who ended up dying, this could have been a tied game. It all came down to giving up that one first hook because he would have gotten those progressions either way.
Heartbreaking for Wrecking Crew, knowing that it was right there, and in both of your survivor trials you really did have the chance to go ahead, take those points, and we would have been talking about a Wrecking Crew win. But if you're Hookers, you love it. B Orange, I saw in the chat, B Orange was like, man, I did not play well, but you know what, you played well enough to close out this match. So definitely, I know you feel like you didn't play as well. You did well enough, my friend. Well enough.
Absolutely. That was a very tough game, but you know what? All of these games are a team effort. Even when you play Killer, it's not just about how you play. It's about how your entire team plays. So B Orange there doing what he needed to do to ensure that his team still won. Even if you don't feel like that was a good game, you still won that for your team.
For sure. I think that's the closest margin of victory.
I think so as. Ooh, no, actually,
no?
Outlaws of the Fog only lost by 1 point to 6.
Ooh, you're right. All right,
by
so
1
second.
point.
So
second closest margin there.
I will also
I'm
note.
still upset about that.
I will also note, without that 5-point penalty to Wrecking Crew would have won.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure.
Folks.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
Check those builds, guys. Double check those builds. If you have any questions, make sure check those rules before you bring it into the match. Whoa, wait, what the heck? Death Star Vader has joined the party? What? Now left the party? Who is that?
I think you've just got too many friends, Vader.
That person's not on my friends list, I can assure you.
Oh. Maybe they were joining in on somebody else.
Maybe. But now I want to be friends. Oh, man. But yeah, for sure, really good matchup from both of these teams. Really exciting games. I hope you guys were entertained, because I definitely was. But we do see hookers convicted of murder.
Absolutely. What a really good game to watch. That was very exciting. Good playing from both sides.
Yeah.
Definitely very strong survivor teams. Again, competent killers, just very entertaining and fun to watch.
For sure, yeah. It was definitely super entertaining. Definitely wanting to make sure everybody is just all in good spirits here, having some good sportsmanship and stuff, because for sure we all love being a part of Egos, right? So for sure, seeing the teams have a close game like this, I know it can be sore, but seeing in chat everybody's looking pretty good right here definitely makes me quite happy. I see we are in emote only as well.
We're just having an emote party in chat over here.
Dude, I want to be a part of that.
I know, I'm like, can I go add my emotes too?
Can I add emotes? You know, Twitch added all those animated emotes, and
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm seeing some of them go crazy over here. We got Puppers, one of Puppers' animated emotes going wild.
Shep, have you added any of those animated emotes? Because they just look good.
No, I haven't yet. I haven't been streaming lately, but I'm working on it. We're gonna
Upsetty spaghetti.
I know, upsetty spaghetti. I'm gonna fix my computer, and then you guys will have many more opportunities to hear me yell at you.
Understandable. For sure. We're still waiting to see, are we getting a interview in our interrogation room? So as we're waiting, of course, we've been reflecting a little bit there, right? On reflecting on just how the match went, and then of course appreciating all of your emotes, and then looks like we have a guide the raid to Guiltspire. So it looks like we know
Guiltspire today.
We know who we're raiding.
And while we're waiting for our next interview, don't forget, guys, this is not the last day of comp you will be seeing from us. We have a fully slotted schedule all day tomorrow. At 1, 3, 6, and 9, we have 4 games coming up for you guys tomorrow. And if you want to see more exciting gameplay like what you saw today, that is the place to be.
Oh yeah, it is. Tomorrow, all day long.
Tomorrow.
Just
all day long.
Bring your hot cocoa. I know, like, I'm in the Midwest, guys. It's cold here.
It's cold here too, to be fair.
It's cold. So your boy gonna be drinking the hot cocoa in the morning, because we got that morning game, of course, at 1 Eastern. So it's morning for me. Like it'll be noon.
It'll be early.
My
It'll
time.
be early for our West Coast friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But
it looks like we do have our interview here today. Yeah, catch us tomorrow. Catch it here tomorrow.
We do have our interview, huh? All right. Well, welcome in, B Orange. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty great, but I just want to say they played amazing that last match.
Yeah.
Those were some definitely tough trials for you guys, for both teams to go into there.
Yeah, I would definitely say that was exciting to watch, and I was kind of I was watching that score quite closely, because I was like, oh, B Orange, I think you just need to go ahead and just confirm a kill, don't leave. And it looked like you were walking away. So for sure, like what were you thinking, like, throughout that match? I know that was a tough one for you.
Yeah, I was mainly. The hard part was messing up the slide text, the hug text with Blight. I was getting a bit frustrated at that, and I just kept telling myself, if I could just get a couple of hooks, this will be fine.
You know, I think that's a good way to look at it, for sure. Getting those hook states did prove to be pretty important for you in both matchups. Being able to kind of allow for that unhook to happen, but then hook somebody who was a fresh hook. You did quite well at getting those done. And then, I mean, you really played well on the Survivor side too. Walk us through those Survivor games.
For the Survivor games, the main strategy, we just split up, just crank gens, somebody loops away from it. And then once we realized someone's going to go down at basement on that doctor match, I thought, I have a flashlight, I might be able to stop this. And that kind of saved our game there.
That was a
My
very
goodness.
nice flashlight save from you. Definitely prevented a basement hook, which would have been really nasty at that point in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talk.
especially because he had a 3-gen that side too.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about you got a highlight right there for sure. If you didn't go ahead and clip that already, I mean, I would go back to the VOD and clip that. You know, give yourself a montage at the end of the season. But for sure, that was a really good play, Orange, for sure. You guys also did take out all of the totems in the first match, but didn't in the second match. Was there a reason besides just maybe expecting Noed first match to go ahead and make sure to take out all the totems?
Yeah, so the way I was thinking is it's a Bubba, he has a one-shot regardless, so if it's Noed, it's not too big of a deal. And it ended up working out because I had adrenaline and he ended up getting Noed on injured Pearly.
Yeah, that's a sound judgment as well. Like, didn't even me sitting behind the desk here, I wasn't considering that. I was like, all right, I'm expecting all 5 totems to be gone and we're not going to see a Noed. And then I saw Noed and I was like, well, that's weird. Why would they cleanse all of them in one game, but then in the next game they're not cleansing like any of the totems? Interesting. But no, that's perfect reasoning. So good on you guys for making sure to make the right call. Is there
And
anything? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shep.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the fans of the Hookers or to the fans of Egos?
Same thing I said last time, GG's all around. Those were some tough-ass games. Everybody played well.
Yeah, man, and I mean, for Hookers, this is a win in that column for sure, and allows for you guys to go ahead and look forward to your next games, right, and make sure you guys are able to keep those playoff hopes alive, right? Man,
And you guys have also consistently proven over the course of the first couple of weeks here that every time we see you, you guys have improved.
Yeah.
And not even to say that you were bad to begin with. Like, it's just every time we see you, it gets better and better. So I'm really excited to see what the rest of the season holds for you guys. And how are you feeling kind of knowing your place among some of the other teams going into the next quarter of our season here?
Overall, like, our team's feeling pretty good. We're feeling like we have a good chance here.
I would have to agree. You guys have been proving that that you guys are ready to be here. You've taken the preparation, and I mean, you guys, if I understand correctly, you guys are also having another come onto your roster that's going to probably help out as well. Make sure you guys are also just even more ready, right?
For sure, for sure.
Awesome. Well, it has been a pleasure having you here. Guys, we are going to go ahead and let everybody go for the night. Remember to come back and see us here again tomorrow, 1 Eastern, for our first matchup of the day there. And for sure, we do see Hookers convicted of murder. Orange, thank you for coming out for the interview.
Yep, thanks for having us.
For sure. Guys, that's all from us. Court is adjourned.
Have fun, stay safe. We love you. Bye, guys.